John, welcome to another edition of the CEO's blog. First things first, let's talk about this race fall that occurred at Penrith Paceway last Thursday.
Yeah, rather spectacular fall, and thankfully the three people who fell out, Mitchell Reese and Steph Lippiett and Brooke Wilkins, are all relatively fine. The two girls definitely. But Mitchell's out of hospital. We held great fears there for some time about his outcomes, but now he's out of hospital. It'll be a long road to recovery. He's in good hands, of course, with family, and we continue on with a review of what exactly occurred during the race, and that's the steward's position, and that'll be some time until everyone's available. But more importantly, and straight away, we're reviewing the post-fall actions of everybody. The paramedics, the officials, and the participants. So good part out of it is Mitch is up. He's walking around. A lot of pain, but he's in good hands. What
were the injuries Mitchell sustained?
Mitchell has some fractures to his back, and certainly fractures to his pelvis. But very, very lucky, and thankfully that it's not more serious.
Most definitely. Okay, you have an update about Peter O'Connor, who was involved in a training incident a few weeks back now.
Yeah, Peter, he's been transferred back to Orange Hospital. He's in a really bad way, in that he has multiple fractures of his rib cage area. He's been plated to sort of pull him back together, but Peter has a very long road to recovery, and as I said previously, if anyone can help Peter and Anne out with their horses, we know everyone wants to help out, and if we can, please help Peter out.
Okay, where was Peter? What hospital was he at prior?
He was in Westmead. He was down here. Well, they were both in Westmead, both Mitchell and Peter. Probably not quite at the same time. I think one went out and one came in, but anyway. Peter, he's not as young and agile as what Mitchell is, so we certainly need him to get well and truly on the road to recovery.
Most definitely. Okay, let's talk about the 2-year-old racing calendar.
Well, it's set for 2018. It's up on the website now, so this gives trainers, owners, a surety of when these races will be run, of course under conditions, and the simple condition of all this is that there are 6 nominations, so the schedule for the entire year of 2018 is there, so everybody with a up-and-coming 2-year-old can aim at a particular race on a particular day, but basically know the distance, the barrier draws, and what have you. So there's races designated for fillies, as there are for colts also. But in particular, a new condition has come in, and that is if there are 12 nominations, the race will be divided in half if there are 6 fillies and 6 colts. So that's previously it was one race with 10 horses and 2 missed out. Well, the board has gone that extra step to try to give more opportunities to those owners of the 2-year-olds. And of course the opportunities are great because you get your bonuses as well if you're an eligible Breeders' Challenge eligible horse.
Okay, and is this the second year in a row Harness Racing New South Wales has released a 2-year-old racing calendar?
Yeah, this is the second edition.
Yeah.
Slight amendments on the first year, but it worked pretty well. And what people need to remember, if there are more horses around than what we think are going to be around, we add to that calendar. So it's fairly fluid.
Okay, let's talk about the Metropolitan Information Sessions. They're coming up soon.
Yeah, next Wednesday at Tabcorp Park, Menangle, starting at 7 in the MacArthur Pavilion. These sessions, we've already held the sessions in the Western Districts and the Southern Districts. It's to keep participants and other interested stakeholders up to speed on what is actually happening when it comes to wagering and licensing and responsibilities. It's to keep them up to speed there, but in particular what we will be talking at this Metropolitan meeting is the status with the whips. As we know, we're going to retain whips in racing, but it's about working with the rules and educating the drivers as to how they can stay compliant, not attract fines, and we keep the whip in racing. Of course, it's not cruel to the horses when it's used in a manner which is described in these rules. And the other part, of course, is that the Metropolitan Handicapping system, there were some anomalies in it, and they will be smoothed out, and we'll consult with the UHRA and trainers and owners to see what we can do to make this system work even more smoothly.
Okay, so it looks like it might stay around.
It certainly will. There's every indicator, and we put pretty strong indicators on this system when we started almost 4 months ago now. But yeah, it's ticking all the boxes, so we're reasonably pleased with it.
Okay, all right, and before we end, let's talk about Martel Maguire and Tom Pay. They just jetted over to New Zealand on the weekend. They've got 2 weeks over there with Barry Purdon and Cran Dalgety, part of winning their Junior Driver Encouragement Award last year.
Yeah, what an experience. And Martel's already clocked in. She's been able to tell us that she won a trial driving one of Barry's horses, but both Tom and Martel have described so far, and they only left on Sunday, this experience is something that they've always wanted, and they've got it now. Now they move on. They've got a week with Barry and Katrina Purdon up in the North Island. They've moved down to Cran and Chrissy Dalgety in the south, and the highlight of that is they'll be there for the New Zealand Cup, and hopefully they'll see Tiger Tar and Kevin Pizzuto take the cup home, or bring the cup home for Australia.
That would be good. The last win was 2 years ago with Arden Rooney. So
yeah, well, it's there to be won, and Kevin is determined. I've spoken to him a couple of times this week on a variety of matters, but he's holding the flag high for Australia, and he's not without a chance.
Yeah, no, very good. Anything else for this edition?
No, that might wrap us up, Amanda.
All right, we'll look forward to next week.
Thank you.